Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. I hope all of you are doing okay. I will be talking about my theories for the next seasons and everything. I actually wanted to write a video essay. I was working on the script and everything, but it was taking me forever, so I decided to just do it this way, make it easier, like a little bit more relaxed. And hopefully, this way I will actually upload it, because I've been working on it for like a month and I haven't even started recording. Well, I actually did. I tried twice to make the video, but it just wasn't working. And in the end, I came up with a completely new theory. So that's the one I will be talking about right now. And I'm really sorry I won't be talking directly to the camera. I am recording on my iPad and I can't find it. And whenever I do, I just look very stiff. So I think this is like the best way to do this. And anyway, I will be overlapping some images over the video and everything, so you will have examples and all. And yeah, I'm just gonna start, and this is kinda going to be like kinda chit-chatty video, so like I said, very relaxed. And here we go. As I was retracing and remembering everything I know about the series from season 1, because I started watching it again and I actually really like the series. That's why I'm making this video. I was a little bit confused in season 1 because I didn't think they had like a clear path. Like, it reminded me a little bit of Lost or Heroes, when they started like very strong, very interesting stories, but they didn't quite know how to end it. Everything seemed a little bit too random, and it still kind of does, but I think I came up with a really good theory of where not the season, like the whole series is going. So I think the main star, like the main protagonist of the story, is Ethan, the child. We start with their family and how they enter the town, Fromville, and we have a lot of really interesting characters. I also really like, I forgot his name, Jade. I also really like Jade. I think he's very interesting and he will have a very large role to play. And I don't know, like, all of them seem like they have their own stories and everything. Well, a lot of them, not all of them, but yeah, I think Ethan is the key. Wait, let me grab my phone and look for the names. Remember in first season, I think, yes, it was first season, that she was made to kill Nathan. Remember that she hears voices. I think there are two types of entities in that forest. One that I think might be the forest itself or some kind of deity, a god, and the other one that are those that feed on fear, and I think they are three of them. But I don't know, I think I will be giving them different names, like I think I will be calling them gods, like the forest entity, like the kid and everything. I think they are one, like the ones that are trying to create balance or help the people on Fromville. And then the entities, like the bad ones, the villains of the story, the ones that feed on fear. So I think that the ones that feed on fear are the ones talking to Sarah, and the ones that can see the child are the ones that are more connected to the forest and to the gods there. So Sarah made some horrible things. She killed a lot of people, and the entities told her that the key to get out from the town was to kill Ethan, and I thought that was very interesting. And I do in fact think he needs to die to release them all, but not in the way that Sarah was going to do it. So in the very first episode, we see one child, and it's a girl, and she's very young. Her father is drunk in the bar, or at the bar, and she actually opens the window to this very creepy old lady, and she dies instantly. And what I was thinking about, it was that she was the only child in Fromville, and from that she is immediately replaced by Ethan. So I think if the kid had been saved, if the father or the mother had like secured the house and she had lived, she would be like the main savior, I think, of the town. But since she died, I think the gods of the forest had to replace her, but because I think having a child is really important in that town. So now that that kid is dead, Ethan came in the town to replace her and then be the key to get them all out. Now, my theory for this is because of the other children that are kind of dead and alive. They look like zombies, kind of. And in the last episode, when Jade goes into the caves and he's really, really scared to do that, and of course, like, why not? That is very, very creepy. She gets in, and we actually had some glimpses of the kids before when Tabitha saw them before, and she said that, you know, they were trapped in the lighthouse, and actually we have never seen them in the lighthouse itself. We've seen them in the forest and outside house when Tabitha was there, and in the caves, but I think like outside they are just like apparitions, visions. And when Tabitha saw, I think it was a girl, I don't remember, inside of like this trap or this like prison in the cave, that was the real children. So they are trapped in there and they can't get out. Only through visions and everything is that they can show themselves to the people outside, like in the town, but I think only Tabitha has been the one to see them. So when Jade entered the cave and he found this empty space at first, and then he looked up, we finally saw the sign that the other guy had seen and Jade had seen before that, and Victor actually also knew about. I don't know, it was like made with vines. They were interlocking, and they made the sign, and it was very interesting to me that it was on top, like there was sunlight coming in, he was on top, and around Jade he got to see like the kids, and they were lying in a circle all around looking at the symbol, and they say this like kukui type of thing. I think it's a phrase, a name, kukui, and I think that might be the name of the seal, because I think that's what the symbol is, a seal, to keep the monsters inside the caves. So we saw the children all around, and I think they were a sacrifice. So I think I need to tell you that my theory goes way back. I think before in that place used to be another set of people, maybe like a tribe, another small village or something like that, and so there still were two types of entities, and they had to fight, and the only way to keep them at bay, the only way to kill them, but not really, I think they are kind of immortal, the entities there, like the ones that feed on fear. And so the spirits of the forest had to make an alliance with the people there to keep those monsters like away, because I believe maybe they started feeding on animals or something like that, and then the people started to move in, and then they started to feed on them. I do think they feed on fear specifically, and they mention hope, and of course I think hope has a lot to do with fear, because again, if you don't have hope, you kind of don't have fear either, or like, you know, like any reason to fight, so they don't have anything to feed on, and that's why they trap them there and kind of let them leave there for a little bit, leave them alone for a little bit, because now we know they can do a lot more harm, like really kill them through their dreams, and that is insane. And they couldn't, well, it's not that they couldn't, they just didn't do that before, and they could, like, they could kill every one of them, but they need them to feed on. So I think the people back then had to sacrifice the children, and I believe it's because children are pure, are imaginative, like they have a lot of stories in their minds, and they believe in magic and everything, so they are the embodiment of hope. And so I think the people back then realized like the entities couldn't be killed, but they could be trapped. So they created the symbol, the seal, along with the stones, like the symbols and the stones, again, people and gods, or forest entities, and they had to sacrifice their children, and so they had to put them in the caves with the seal so it could work, and they had to be looking up at it to give it energy or give it hope or give it, like, you know, like that essence of them. And because they didn't look like normal stones where they literally look like sacrificial stones, the circle of the children, when Jade saw them. So I think that was the way to trap the monsters, like all of them, inside that cave. So now going back to the future, I don't think that the town is made up. I don't think it's in their imagination. I don't think they're dead or anything. I think the town is real. So after some years passed, maybe hundreds of years, people started to grow and to grow to make the village larger. Maybe they were even the same people, but I don't think so, because I think the story will have been told through generations. Maybe, or maybe it was forgotten. Maybe they knew about it, and then when the monsters were released, they forgot. I don't know about that. I will think about it. But anyway, so a town was there, and actually I think Victor was born in that town, or maybe he arrived with his mother and his sister. And but yeah, I think he lived there from the beginning. He didn't just arrive there. Maybe he was born there. So everything was fine. Everything was sealed. Everything was normal. You know, there was a diner and everything. I believe it was all working like a normal town. And then this guy that Victor mentions, that Jade found in the photograph, I don't remember his name, but Victor said like he was this very funny guy, like very relaxed and everything, until he found this symbol, and then he changed. So I think that guy was lost in the forest for some reason. Maybe he was running away from the dogs, from wolves, I don't know, like something happened, he was caught in the rain, whatever, and he found himself in that cave, maybe wanting to look for refuge. And now there is construction outside, and I hope it's not too loud. So I think he found himself in that cave. He went inside and found the children there in the like ceremonial or ritual beds, like stone beds, and he freaked out, and maybe he wanted to save them because of the way they look. I mean they've been there for quite a long time, right? Like they look really old, like their clothes, their hair is falling out. So maybe he wanted to help them, and instead of doing that, he broke the seal. And when he did that, the monsters were released, and so the monsters trapped the children, so they couldn't be used again. And that's why they are in that cave, but inside like this very weird, like kind of animalistic cages. I don't know, they look very, very weird. So he released them without knowing about it, and then the monsters could feed on them again. And so I believe he got obsessed, like you remember the notebook with all the symbols. I think he wanted to know what it meant, because he knew he had unleashed these very evil entities, and he wanted to know how to fix it. So I don't think the evil in itself it's evil. I think it was the thing keeping evil away, and that's why he wanted to like know how to like power it back, or like, you know, make it whole again. So because maybe he started seeing things, right, hearing things, because now the monsters were out. So he was obsessed with it. He wanted to return things to normal, but in the end he couldn't. And then I believe these monsters, like the big bosses of like Fromville, then made two things happen too. I believe they took some of the people from the town that I believe was like set in the 70s when Victor was young, because you can look at their clothes, like some of them were working, some of them were wearing just like normal clothes, but you can see like a nurse, a chef, I think, you know, some of them are wearing uniforms. So I think they were part of the people of the town. And so the entities took possession of them and made them monsters to create then fear in the other people in the town. So I think Victor knew all of them. He grew up with them, knew their names, maybe forgot, I'm not sure. And then those monsters killed the rest of the town. Not everyone. I think it is insinuated that Victor was the sole survivor, because his mother left with her sister that he didn't even remember about. And she kind of knew something about the rules, because he spoke about the children and then told him not to leave and hide all night. But I think that's another theory, that that might have been the first night ever that those monsters were released. And then that whole night, almost all of the town was wiped out. Now, since Victor was a sole survivor and again was a kid, I do think one kid has to be there. And you know, like everyone was dead, the town knew that the town could replace everyone that had been killed. So that's why everyone was dead, because, you know, more people could come in. But I think the gods of the forest can also bring people from the outside, as well as the entities can also bring people from the outside. Again, the sign is the fallen tree and the crows. And I also have a theory that maybe the people that are getting there, you know, they say they really don't have a connection, but maybe they do. I think they might be the reincarnation of the people that used to live there back when they find out or figure out how to seal the monsters. So they might have been the inhabitants of that very same place centuries ago. So it's not totally random. They are reincarnations, and that's why some of them remember some things about it. That's why some of them are more connected, like they are more in touch with their past selves or their past souls, something like that. And that's why they end up there. And maybe again, the gods of the forest bring them there in the hopes that they can seal the monsters again. So now, again, remember that Sarah wanted to kill Ethan. The entities told her that he was the key to release them, but I think he was actually the reason they were afraid. I think they are afraid of Ethan, more afraid than anyone else. And I think one of the keys is that Ethan can see the kid, and although the kid really doesn't speak like the kid in white, again, he's also like a representation of the forest and maybe some kind of memory or spirit connected to the other kids of the past. But again, they can't release them because now the monsters have them. So now the only kid that can be sacrificed is Ethan. And I think that is the solution to the problem. It has to be a sacrifice. Ethan has to come to terms with the fact that he is the hope, the representation of the hope. And so unifying the forest could be the gods, the hope, and everything, and take the place of the kids before him in that bed that now will be only one, because there's only one kid in that bed looking up at the seal, and so keeping the monsters again inside and trapped until they are released again. Hopefully they will find a solution for that so no one will find them. But yes, I believe Ethan has to go in the caves and be a sacrifice to save the people in the town. Maybe I think the town won't disappear because I think it's a very real place, but maybe since the entities will be inside, will be trapped, their powers sealed, the people from there then can leave. There are more things to talk about. Again, the fact that it said that the kids are trapped in the lighthouse. Again, I've never seen them in there, but anyway, I do believe that maybe Boyd's wife was right about the only way to live is dying. Maybe, I don't know. I mean, we see Tabitha, I believe that she died when she felt like it was really, really high. She died and she was outside. I don't know how she's going to help because there's really, I don't think anything that can be done from the outside, but the kid got her out for a reason. So that part I'm not entirely sure about. Maybe she even woke up in another era or in another like a year or something where she could stop themselves from getting there, but then Ethan wouldn't go there. I don't know, like that doesn't make a lot of sense, but there's a role in there that she has to play. But I don't know what it is just yet. The same with Jade. I think he will become more obsessed with the symbol because, you know, I think he's a pretty smart guy, but I think it's very easy for smart people to kind of lose their minds and become really, really, really obsessed to the point of no return. So I think he will do that, but I also think he will come up with the solution, and he will figure out that Ethan has to be sacrificed, or I don't know, it might be someone else, but I think it will be him. So anyway, what do you think? Does Ethan need to be sacrificed? Will it take something else? Is the symbol actually evil? I don't think it is, again, because it resembles the stones, and the stones keep them alive, keep them safe. And so again, I think this story started way, way back. And anyway, let me know what you think, and I will be seeing you in another video. Thank you so much for watching, and bye. I hope you have a great week. Bye.